All right, here's a few news articles that I thought were interesting. Some people have been, I think probably came from Fox News or something, have been complaining about Kamala Harris, saying she is paranoid because she doesn't like using Bluetooth headsets and instead uses plug-in headsets, saying they're safer. And a lot of security experts are chiming in saying that's probably a good policy. Bluetooth is a serious security risk. In most cases, it's not that safe, and you probably shouldn't use it if you're an important person. Yeah, I saw that. That's the someone talking about the Humble Bundle. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you talked about the Humble Bundle before. Check out that link. It's a good point. Here, I'll throw it in the newscast too. Here, if you don't know about it, here's the Humble Bundle with a lot of good books, including quite a few that I'm using in my classes. So, yeah, check it out. Good. Anyway, this is an interesting podcast by this guy named Pomp, who is claims to have $500 million of Bitcoin and be a big shot and stuff, which I imagine is true. I don't really know. But from what I've heard, people say the El Salvador rollout of Bitcoin is a disaster. People can't use it. The payment terminals don't work. People just sabotage them. They hate the whole thing. But these guys say it's wonderful. They went there to see how it works. They say it's better than anywhere. The Lightning's really working. They say Bitcoin is going to bring a new revolution of glorious libertarian future, and they're actually becoming citizens of El Salvador to move there. So anyway, it's an interesting opposite perspective to what most people say. Are the Humble Bundle books digital or paperback? I think they're both, but check them out. You met this guy? You met Pomp? Yeah, I've never met him. I just heard his podcast a few times. I listened to some of these podcasts from these tech billionaires, and it's they dwell on a different plane. They're like the gods of Olympus. It's hard to decide what to think of what they say, like them and Musk and stuff. Yeah, they usually have good people skills, or I don't know. Anyway, they have a strange perspective on things. He's got the people he's talking to here have this idea that the whole everything about politics and everything is determined by a giant plot, like Illuminati-like plot to manipulate the financial system and the amount of debt and everything, which is what I hear from quite a few of these libertarian far-right people. They think everything is driven by a master plan to put everyone in debt and make them all obedient and make them into slaves and stuff. And I don't know, you can't really prove it's not true. Anyway, digital, you pick format? Yeah, other people say, yeah. All right. Anyway, I guess maybe it's only digital for the Humble Bundle, so I'm not sure. So they fixed the Hubble. The Hubble's been down for a month, and this has happened before. The Hubble has a lot of backup systems and stuff, so they shut it down, and they have to bring it up very slowly to make it work correctly. So apparently it's back up to full operation. They found a way to use the backup systems or something to get it back to working. Also, they're launching the James Webb Space Telescope, which is a vastly improved telescope to take over for the Hubble and do more kind of work. So this one caught my attention. I often tell my right-wing friends that I think AOC is the left-wing Trump, because she says things that are what the left-wingers feel that they wouldn't really be able to say so clearly, which I think is how right-wingers often feel about Trump. But anyway, here she is really being like Trump. I mean, we see all over the news these smash and grab robberies, not just in California, but all over the place, of these mobs of like 80 people that are driving up to stores, rushing in and robbing stuff. And she's saying she doesn't even think it's true. It's a statement that could very much have come from Trump. We have to talk about specifics because we're actually seeing a lot of these allegations of organized retail theft are not actually panning out. Now, I don't know if she has any evidence to back this up. That sounds extremely dubious to me. I mean, there are videos of it happening. There are police reports. There are people getting arrested. I don't know, man. This reminds me of the bad side of Trump, where you just make up some lie and say it. Anyway, that's she better have some proof to back that up. Anyway, so Coinbase Ethereum is branching to Ethereum 2 soon, and right now Ethereum 2 is running in parallel with Ethereum. Ethereum 2 is the proof of work blockchain, a proof of stake blockchain, which will and also includes sharding. So the work of processing transactions is split among many machines that only do a portion of the transactions. So it should be much faster and use much less energy, like 99.99% less energy. So that's good. But the interesting thing is Vitalik Buterin wrote a blog about this explaining Ethereum 2. And he said Ethereum 2 will, of course, not be very distributed anymore. There will be a small number of very rich miners staking a lot of money, mining it. So basically, you just go back to a normal bank like Visa, where there is one rich central point doing the work, and it's not a blockchain. It's not distributed. So, like I say, the cryptocurrency makes no sense at all. I've sort of given up fighting it. That it's coming. It's going to be here. You might as well learn to live with it. There's an awful lot of things that make no sense, but cryptocurrency doesn't make any sense. And it's incredibly inefficient unless you go back to a centralized system, which is what we had before it. But it's incredibly fashionable, so I just see it as sort of a popular game. Hermann Hesse won the Nobel Prize for Literature for writing a book called The Glass Bead Game, and it describes, in my opinion, the cryptocurrency space better than about anything else, where these incredibly rich, incredibly pampered nobility people would play this game, sort of like chess, with these glass beads, and everybody else has to work to support them, and they are considered like exalted beings because they can do this complicated mathematical game that other people can't do. And nobody in the society ever seems to really question whether there's any value in this. They just say, boy, that's wonderful, and they admire them, and I wish I was smart and I could do that too. That seems to really capture the cryptocurrency space more than anything. Anyway, AWS has been down for a lot of days. I don't know if it's still down. A lot of people are complaining. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying they couldn't get any work done all day because AWS was down. I guess I'm not using anything running on AWS. I haven't noticed a problem, but most people are. So Biden has passed new stricter COVID testing rules, which I must say is a pretty good idea. I've heard doctors and stuff say they really shouldn't have any travel bans from Africa. That doesn't make any sense now that this Omicron is everywhere. What you should have instead is a strict testing system to make sure that people come in don't have it. Yeah, affecting Salesforce. Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, a whole lot of people use AWS. Anyway, so now the problem is from some countries, it's really hard to get a test within 24 hours of your trip. And anyway, but people are trying to adapt to the new rules. I don't know if his exact rules are right, but the idea of just giving people a strict test when they come in seems like a good idea. Although we just have Omicron spreading everywhere anyway in America now. It's in like 15 states or something. And so the Pandora Papers that came out a few months ago exposing the amount of sort of tax havens that people are using, hiding their money, and quite a bit of it in, I think, South Dakota or North Dakota. So Biden is now trying to have a push to expose and punish the tax havens people are doing. And Kristi Noem, the governor of the Dakota state that is responsible for a lot of this, said she was too busy and didn't even come to the meeting about it. So what's going on with metaverse virtual real estate? Yes. Well, metaverse virtual real estate is probably a way to make money. This already happened with Second Life a while ago. And the metaverse tied to Facebook, it has got an image of the Earth, I think, and you can buy like Times Square and the Statue of Liberty and, downtown San Francisco. You can buy landmarks, and then only one person owns it, and then you can put something there, and then you can put ads on it or something, and people will go there. This all happened in Second Life. Second Life was the earlier primitive version of the metaverse 15 years ago, and the first millionaire in Second Life made $1 billion doing real estate sales in Second Life. So it's coming. It's going to be another real thing. And just like the book Snow Crash, which is where it all essentially came from. And just like that book, there'll probably be a lot of people who are really not very successful out here in the real world who are successful in the virtual world. Of course, the metaverse real estate would only make sense if everybody's in the same metaverse, but if Facebook makes the metaverse, then it probably will be the one that everybody's in. Otherwise, so it's, and what they're hoping to do, apparently lately with NFTs, is to make objects you can buy that you can carry around from one metaverse to another. So you could buy something like fancy clothing and then wear it in the metaverse to go to parties and then wear it in some other game to play a game and stuff like that. That's what people would like. They'd like to turn this into like a game and objects. Right now it's all in just the infancy. Anyway, it's I think NFTs are here to stay too. I think NFTs actually make more sense than most anything else on the blockchain. It's a collectible. It's just a not of any real value, but it's like a collectible piece of art or a signed baseball or something. It's just a collectible item to commemorate that you paid some money to have some special thing. And there's people that value that as a mark of prestige or something, and the blockchain is one way to do that. And so this one is an argument that, again, I used to be really down on everything in cryptocurrency, but some is starting to make some sense. And even Ted Cruz is making sense, which I'm not sure I've ever said before in my life. But the point is, the Texas electric grid is not connected to the national electric grid, so they only power Texas. And the problem with the electric grid is they're turning these motors at 60 cycles, and if there's not enough load, it turns faster, and that's not good. And if there's too much load, it spins slower, and that's not good. So they're constantly trying to adjust the power generation to match the exact load. But if something happens, like it gets hot and everybody turns on the air conditioners, or the weather changes or something, the load keeps changing. And so they actually frequently in Texas have negative cost. They'll pay you to use the power because they have too much power and they can't slow down the things fast enough. So they're actually saying putting Bitcoin mines near the power stations to use the excess power that they would otherwise have a problem getting rid of would actually be a benefit to them. And the good thing about Bitcoin mines is they can run and they can just say turn it off, and they can just turn it off. It doesn't really matter. They don't have to be on all the time. So they, in return for cheaper power, they can just accept being turned on and off as needed. And that will create a source of revenue which will help make up for the instability of the demand. So it might even make sense. Anyway, that's Ted Cruz's argument, is that the Bitcoin miners moving into Texas that got kicked out of China can actually help stabilize the grid. In a simple-minded world, you might say, how can adding another consumer using up more power make anything better? But maybe it could. It doesn't seem to be entirely stupid. Anyway, all right, that's enough of that.